षु नित्यं भागवतो सेवया भागवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिके। न वेदवेदन् अनुवर्तते मतिः सो एव लोके रमतो महामुनेः। यथा गतिर्देव मनुष्यः पृथक् सो एव धर्मे न परं क्षिप्य स्थितः। न वेदवादन् अनुवर्तते मतिः सो एव लोके रमतो महामुनेः। यथा गतिर्देव मनुष्यः पृथक् सो एव धर्मे न परं क्षिप्य स्थितः। Synonyms, word by word meaning. Na, not. Veda Badan, rules and regulations of the Vedas. Anuvartate, follow. Matihi, the mind. Sway, in his own. Eva, certainly. Loke, in the self. Ramataha, enjoying. Mahamunehe, of elevated transcendentalists. Yatha, as. Gatihi, the way. Deva Manusyaha, of the men and the demigods. Prathak, separately. Sway, in your own eyes. Eva, alone. Dharme, occupational duty. Na, not. Param, another. Khipet, should criticize. Sthitaha, being situated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace La Prabhupada. Translation. It is better to execute one's own occupational duty than to criticize others. Elevated transcendentalists may sometimes forego the rules and regulations of the Vedas, since they do not need to follow them, just as the demigods travel in space, whereas ordinary men travel on the surface of the earth. Purport by His Divine Grace. The behavior of the most elevated transcendentalist and that of the most fallen conditioned souls appears to be the same. The elevated transcendentalist can surpass all the regulations of the Vedas, just as the demigods traveling in space surpass all the jungles and rocks on the surface of the globe. Although a common man who has no such ability to travel in space has to face all those impediments. Although the most dear Lord Shiva appears not to observe all the rules and regulations of the Vedas, he is not afflicted by such disobedience. But a common man who wants to imitate Lord Shiva is mistaken. A common man must observe all the rules and regulations of the Vedas, which a person who is in the transcendental position does not need to observe. Daksha found fault with Lord Shiva for not observing all the strict rules and regulations of the Vedas. But Sati asserted that he had no need to observe such rules. It is said that for one who is powerful like the sun or the fire, there is no consideration of purity or impurity. The sunshine can sterilize an impure place, whereas if someone else were to pass such a place, he would be affected. One should not try to imitate Lord Shiva, rather one should strictly follow one's prescribed constitutional duties. One should never vilify a great personality like Lord Shiva. We'll do the Vaishnava prayers now. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुस्यूतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सादि गौर भक्तवृंद नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for joining today for the Srimad Bhagavatam glorification. So these days we're discussing about Mother Sati and her father Daksha's interaction. This subject matter is very eloquent and lot of things to learn about a devotee behavior and how not to judge a pure devotee and how we should act between a devotee congregation, between in the devotee ladder of senior devotee or a neophyte devotee. The subject matter is a lot to learn from this beautiful subject, and Prabhupada has a very beautifully he has explained, and he has put lot of notes for us to follow. So my knowledge in this subject matter is very limited, but with all of your blessings and guidance of Guru and Gauranga, would like to glorify this for my own purification. So here, two things here is mentioned here. One is khifpet, that is, like criticize, and another is, anubartate. Anubartate is follow. And here also it says that we should not, instead of imitating, we should rather follow. So with this, we'll go deep into the verse. So in last verses, we see that the instructions in Srimad Bhagavatam is that one should not tolerate at any cost the activities of a person who blaspheme a Vaishnava or a senior authority. So finally, following that instruction, we read in last two verses, we also witnessed it, that the Sati decides to give up her body, giving a logic that if someone has taken poison due to certain circumstances, the best thing is to get out of it is to throw up or vomit. The same way, Sati is claiming that she has got this is her body from her father Daksha Prajapati. Now Daksha has blasphemed Lord Shiva, who is her husband and who is a pure Vaishnava. Like we see that we hear that Vaishnavanam Jathasambu. So we see that she is saying that her father has blasphemed a pure devotee who is Lord Shiva, and therefore she should rather, like instead of keeping her body, he should rather give up her body. Further, she advises all the assembly over there that it is like it's better to perform your own duty rather to criticize others. Sometimes elevated transcendentalists or elevated sadhakas or pure devotees may not do or may forgo the Vedic rules and regulations which they should do, but they are not they don't do because they are not entitled to do that. They have basically surpassed all those rules and regulations. So here in this purport, Prabhupada has cited two examples. First example here is that elevated transcendentalists may sometimes forego the rules and regulations of the Vedas since they do not follow them, just as the demigods travel in space, whereas ordinary men travel on the surface of the earth. So we say that when we want to move from point A to point B, there are like we take a car or we take a bike or something like that, some kind of transportation vehicle. So when you travel on the road, there are traffic lights are there. The traffic lights we wait. The red and yellow and green signals are there. We wait over there. And sometimes what happens, like we go from one country, one place to another place. There are taxes are there, road taxes are there. We stay in the breeze. There are like traffic will be there. So we follow the rules. Then when we go from one country to another country, there are passport is there, then we apply for visa, and so many rules and regulations we have to follow. But same times when we'll be standing on the traffic light and by our good fortune, if we see up, look up, we see that demigods are traveling in their separate planes or separate carriers. They for them no rules are applied. Not only that, like when we are standing traveling on the road and we're traveling on the upper space on the sky by a flight, the flight might be also crossing above the traffic light, but wherever the same person, we were standing on the road and we're following the rules. The same time, sometimes if we think, like in the sea at the top they are not following the traffic rules, why I should follow? And the plane also is going, the person is also traveling, my friend is traveling on the airplane and the up, and I should also, go further without following the traffic rules and regulations. So then what will happen? No, we'll have an accident. We cannot move further. We'll have, traffic violations. So rules and regulations will be broken. So similarly, in that way, if we imitate Bhakti, a senior sadhaka is not following something, he is not coming to Mangalarti, I am not coming, and instead we just try to imitate that his Bhakti, we cannot move further. Instead, what will happen? We will be steady and stagnant in the same place. So often our senior acharya says the rules applies to us. Always, if whether it is a neophyte devotee or a upper devotee, we see that always the rules applies to us. We cannot imitate a higher sadhaka, neither we cannot take granted why a new devotee who is coming to Krishna consciousness, he is not following certain things. Maybe he is not aware of it, he is not following, and I will also not follow. And in the same way, if a senior Vaishnava is not doing certain things for certain reasons, maybe he has a higher thing to do, he is not doing, and with that we should not judge them, and we should not say that he is not doing and I won't also do the same thing. The second example here, Prabhupada is saying that he is giving the example of a sunlight. Sun is very, very powerful. Sun or fire, we see that if it's very, very powerful. Anything that comes in contact with sun or sunlight, it gets purified. We see there will be damp weather will be there will be, and sunlight, like it passes through the damp weather, it passes through the beautiful sunflower garden, and sometimes it goes through the beautiful temple. Sunlight will come through that. The picture here is, like I took a picture from the Konark temple. Konark temple is the temple where the first rays of the sun, it goes over there. It's dedicated to Lord Sun God. And there is a little girl is sitting over here who is trying to get water from the mud. The sunlight also goes there. Then there is a forest. In the forest also sunlight is there. And there are crematoriums. There are so many filthy places. Sunlight passes through that. So sunlight, when it is passes through anything, it makes, even if it is an impure place or even it is a pure place, it doesn't matter. Wherever it passes, the sun basically makes it purified or sterilized, because sun has that potency. It's not like that sun is crossing through a temple, sunlight is crossing through a temple, sun will get more powerful, and sun is going through a crematorium, and sun is getting, like contaminated. It's not like that. Sun has that potency, sunlight has that potency that it will purify anything. Similarly, here, Sati is telling that Lord Shiva might be going through a crematorium. He might be getting associated with ghosts and the lower category of people, but that Lord Shiva cannot be contaminated, because Lord Shiva is a topmost Vaishnava. He has all the Vaishnava qualities are there. So we see in Shastra that even if in a little association of a pure devotee, we get a lot of goodness we get. We always aspire to have a association of a pure devotee. So Lord Shiva is that pure devotee with whose association everything gets purified. So why it is that? Because a pure devotee, what he does, he, even if there are some material contamination, material things are there, he uses all these material activities at the service of a Lord. Such a pure devotee, he knows how to utilize everything at Lord's service. So he is never affected by any kind of material contamination. Instead, by his transcendental rules or by his transcendental plans, he purifies such activities. The way the sunlight basically, it purifies or sterilizes everything. So here we see that these are the two things Sati is putting, and Prabhupada has very beautifully given the examples of these demigods traveling on the airplane and how the sun basically sterilizes everything, whether it is a pure place or an impure place. So now this is Sati's point of view. Now if we see it from Daksha's point of view, so Daksha's mistake was he's trying to understand Lord Shiva from the material position, and he's not trying to see him from a spiritual position. So this kind of mistake often happens with all of us. We can say that this happens because of the pride. So when the pride comes, right, we become a little bit blind, and our vision kind of it gets blocked. So when we look deep into it, a person's quality, it doesn't matter what he is wearing, where he is going, where he lives. We might be staying in near a like deserted place, or near in not that populated city. What it matters is his transcendental quality. how he's thinking about Lord Krishna, what are her behaviors are there, how humble he is in his bank balance, how much humility he has kept, and how much he is surrendered to Krishna. So that makes a person a better Vaishnava, not the outer caste, like like what he is wearing or not, where he is where he is staying. So Sati is trying to explain to Daksha, her father, that though he is Daksha Prajapati, he is a progeny in charge of creating more progenies. Lord Shiva is in an upper elevated position, and Daksha should respect him. So here Daksha has created a different impression of Lord Shiva, not knowing all the transcendental position of Lord Shiva, who is a pure devotee. So here there are three lessons to learn here. Yeah. So we need to understand what is the actual position of a pure devotee. Then the next thing is, we are not qualified enough to imitate the final position, rather to follow the instruction. So upon what we see that a senior acharya is coming, or senior position devotee has come, we try to see, we try to, in an example we try to give that this Prabhupada has done this, Sanatan Goswami has done this, so we should follow that, we should do that also. But we are not qualified to imitate that final position. So if we go through our Sanatan Goswami's Goswami's, pastimes, Sanatan Goswami was very much attracted to Madan Mohanji. So Madan Mohan, in fact, he used to come and to instruct him that this is what I want, that is not what I want. You should offer me like that way. So when Sanatan Goswami used to worship Madan Mohanji, Sanatan Goswami told Madan Mohanji that he was a Suddha Bhakta, pure devotee. He was, he is above this mode of goodness. So he told Madan Mohanji, see, you asked me to worship you. So there is a deal between you and me. I cannot offer you chappan bhog every day. What I am going to do, Madhukari, whatever I am going to get, I am going to offer you that. So what he used to do, he used to prepare small rotis, some atta balls kind of thing, and bake it in the fire, and he used to offer it into Madan Mohanji. So one day Madan Mohan came and told to Sanatan Goswami, Baba, this atta balls are giving me are good, but it can be better if you add little salt in that. Sanatan Goswami, in a bachelor mood, he told to Madan Mohanji, look, Madan Mohan, look, Gopal, today I told you earlier that I cannot give you chappan bhog, and whatever I'm going to get from Madhukar, you are going to be satisfied. But now you are asking me that little bit salt. Tomorrow you will ask me butter. Next day you will ask me paneer or milk sweet. Where am I going to get it? I told you initial, right? I am a old person and I don't have that much finance or bank balance. I cannot do that, and neither I have any followers. So then Madan Mohanji kept quiet. Now, if when we read this pastime and we try to imitate Madan Mohanji, and we tell, okay, now when we are going to offer Krishna, we can say that, okay, Madan Mohanji didn't have salt and he offered this atta balls, and we can also offer that. And we need to understand here that we are not in the position of Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami has gone through so many austerities, he has done so many sadhanas to go to that level. We cannot even reach 1% or 0.1% of that sadhana what Sanatan Goswami has done, the sacrifice he has done. Instead, if we imitate his last behavior, then we can say that our fall down will start. We will never go further in the bhakti ladder. We can become not even a Suddha Bhakti. We cannot become in the sadhaka category also. Next thing here, we see that we learn from this that we should not judge any pure devotee. And next point is, here just wanted to understand that there are different mellows of bhakti are there. So bhakti can be categorized as sadhana bhakti or raganuga bhakti, then bhakti with rules, and then advanced stages of bhakti. So for a pure sadhaka, if rules are needed, they will follow. If not needed, they will not follow. So we can see the examples of here Sanatan Goswami, and next other example we can see take here is of Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri, we know that he is a grand spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya. So Madhavendra Puri was a very eloquent devotee. He was always meditating on Lord Krishna on this Mathura pastime. So towards the later part of his sadhana life, what he did, he took leave of all the karmakanta obligations, and even he was not performing Sandhya Vadana and prayers also. So there is a beautiful prayer of Madhavendra Puri in Bhagavatam in second canto, where he says that, O my Sandhya Vandana, O my evening prayer, all good to you. O my morning oblations, I bid goodbye to you. oh, all the demigods, all my forefathers, please excuse me, please forgive me, because I'm not able to perform any more offerings for your pleasure. Like we do all these offerings and all these things we do, right? We do for our whole purification. So Madhavendra Puri is saying that I'm not able to do all these three bandanas, three sandhya bandanas is there, right? One the morning and one is the daytime and one is the evening time. I'm not able to do that. But what instead I'm doing? That I am decided to free myself from all the reactions of sins simply by remembering wherever I go the great descendant of Jadu and the Jadu who is Lord Krishna himself. Madhavendra Puri is saying that remembering Krishna at this stage is sufficient for me, and I don't need any further endeavor to do all other acts. So for Madhavendra Puri, he has gone to that level. He has already followed all the rules and regulations. He had done this Raganuga Bhakti. He has done his part. For him, if he is not doing Sandhya Vandana, if he is not following the rules and regulations, it is okay. It is absolutely fine. But for us, as a pure sadhaka, we have to rules and regulations. We have to follow. So, for a pure devotee's daily behavior need not adhere to the normal rules and regulations because they are in a transcendental position, like in Madhavendra Puri. So, wherever Lord Shiva is going to a crematorium, that does not matter because Lord Shiva is already in a purified state. Wherever he is going, that place is already got purified. This cannot be seen from a material point of view. So, Daksha thinks that I am superior, I am Prajapati. Why Lord Shiva has to be glorified? So from another point, if we see that Daksha has little bit pride within him, this pride and this comparison, these are basically subtle sense of sense gratification. So we see that we do sense gratification. We go to this store, that store. We eat certain things. We buy certain things. We buy a new house. These are all material point of view in a material way of sense gratification. But subtle sense also the sense gratification is there. I am better than that person. I won't let that other person rise in the ladder. This is also, and when we get success, we get happy. That's also a sense gratification in a subtle mind way. In the mind also we are very happy. So that is also that way we say that Daksha has little bit pride, and because of the pride and comparison, all these things happen. So there are in our Krishna consciousness, often we see there are six anarthas are there, who is basically our obstruction to a devotee. So the first point is the kama or the desire. When there is a desire is there, then one by one everything comes. All the anarthas one by one they come into picture. So when the kama basically desire is there, when the kama has basically two roles. When the kama part or desire is satisfied, then we want to get more. The lova increases. When the desire is not satisfied or the kama is not satisfied, what happens? We get angry. It leads to krodha. So from the kama, what happens? Lobha and krodha, the two anarthas arise. And both the kama and krodha, from that what happens? We get into moho or illusion. So from moho, what happens? The little bit of false ego it comes, which leads to mada and matsarya. Mada basically is pride, matsarya basically is envy. This mada and matsarya both are stumbling blocks, or we can say that is the final point from where we cannot move further in the devotee ladder. So as a devotee or sadhaka, we should check on 2 points, the lust and envy. So in the last class of Tuesday, Hardhara Maharaj very beautifully he described that materially measuring a pure devotee and their acts or breaking any rules and regulations given by acharyas, when a devotee does these two things, what happens? The devotee is at risk. He he explained very beautifully how we should why when we are going to offend a senior devotee. We are going to offend a senior devotee when we break the rules and the regulations, when we do not follow it. So when we do not follow it, we are at risk. So Prabhupada has given us very beautifully what to follow and what to not to follow. He has given us ABCD like association, books, chanting, and diet. These four, if we do, then we are in the safe zone. Now the next point to learn here is that sometimes to set example for others, often pure devotees or authorities also will perform certain obligations, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. To be more specific, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went through so many austerities. It was not needed for him. There are so many cases Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows how a sannyasi should behave. He does so that the common people who are around here, he is going to learn something how a sannyasi should behave. So there are instances when there was instances of Ramachandra Puri. Ramachandra Puri basically he was disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri has two disciples. One was Ramachandra Puri and one was Ishwara Puri. So Ramachandra Puri has a habit of blaspheming, criticizing. He was so he had this blaspheming or criticizing was so much deep within him. Did not even uh, he also like criticized his own guru Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri, he was trying to tell Madhavendra Puri instead of following Radha Krishna or looking into Krishna's in a Bal Gopal form, what he should do, he should basically think of how to merge into Brahma. He tried to teach Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri was feeling very was feeling very he was very upset with Ramachandra Puri, and then Iswara Puri came, and Iswara Puri took care of Madhavendra Puri. So Ramachandra Puri later on what he did, he came to Jagannath Puri just to since Jagannath Puri, and he tried to blaspheme Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the devotees over there. So sometimes Mahaprabhu, what he will do, he will tolerate Ramachandra Puri according to worldly etiquette because Ramachandra Puri is his guru's god brother, so that way he used to respect him. And sometimes he will ignore him as though he were of no more significance and then straw. So all these Lord activities are auspicious and beautiful in all times and circumstances. So sometimes Ramachandra Puri will come and criticize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that as a sannyasi you should be detached, but instead see you are eating so much. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will ignore. Sometimes he will reduce the quantity of the food, and sometimes Ramachandra Puri will also go and blaspheme others. So with this blaspheming and criticizing, Ramachandra Puri did not get Lord's association. So last part wanted to talk about is the criticize part. So the criticize to others is a disease, and Prabhupada certain times he used to tell his disciples that you should do this, you should not do that, because Prabhupada has the authority to do that. To do that, there are so many letters Prabhupada has instructed. But as a common practitioner, we should not criticize others. And this criticize is a disease. And once we start doing it, it becomes a habit. Today we will criticize person A, tomorrow we will criticize person B, next day we will criticize person C. After some time, what we will see that we are trying to find fault with everybody and we think that we are the best person. The same thing happens with Daksha Prajapati here. Daksha Prajapati started criticizing Lord Shiva. He found one fault, two fault, three fault, and it it went on increasing. So instead, what we should do, we should try to introspect and see. We should try to criticize ourselves. What did I do? Did I do anything wrong? Am I doing better in my sadhana? What I did yesterday, was it correct? Am I a better human being than last 2 years? Was my act of last 2 years, whatever I did with this devotee, was it good enough? Or should I have done it in a better way? So if we retrospect, if we do some introspection of our activities, if we try to challenge our mind, that way we'll become a better devotee, we'll become more humble, we'll become more surrendered to Krishna. So criticizing and finding fault is an anartha and barrier in our Krishna consciousness, which we all should avoid. So here are three things from this instruction we take: that never judge a good devotee, and the next one is not to criticize, and the other one is that we should dovetail everything to Krishna consciousness. With this, would like to end today's discussion. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Madhu. We'd like to wish you a day. We'd like to offer our praise to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Shri Nrsingo, Jai Nrsingo, Jai Jai Nrsingo, Praladesha, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bhringam. Ugra Veeram,
Praviram
Vishnu Jalantam
Vishnu
Sarvato
Jalantam
Mukha,
Sarvato Mukha
Nrsingham Vishnam
Narsingam
Bhadram
Vishnam
Nityam
Bhadram
Nityam
Nityam
Namami
Nityam
Ham.
Namami
Nrsinga Bhagwan
Ki
ki,
Jai
Prahlad Maharaj
Ki
ki.
Jai
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the SML Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa
Vanchakalpatarubhasya
sindhu
Kripasindhubhava
Patitanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo
Namo
Namo Namah
Namaha. वैष्णववृंद की
Ki
जय।
Jai
संतराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की
Ki
जय।
Jai
प्रभुपाद की
Ki
जय।
Jai
गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Hari Hari
हरि
Hari
हरि
Bol.
हरि हरि बोल।
Thank you everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.